Hello everybody, my name's Suze Shardlow. I am the Developer Community Manager here at Redis. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm joined by Justin and Simon, my colleagues from the Redis DevRel team. I'm going to hand over to Simon, who's going to tell us a little bit about Redis U. Hello, Simon.
Hi, my name's Simon. I operate Redis University on behalf of the team here at Redis. We currently have 8 online courses that are all free and cover different aspects of becoming familiar with, installing, scaling, and writing code against the Redis data store. One of those is the RU101 course, which is an introductory course that aims to teach you about Redis and its different data types and uses beyond cache. And that's what we're hoping to share with you in this series of streams. So I will back out from here and hand over to Justin to introduce himself.
Thanks, Simon. Hi, everybody. Justin Castilla here. I'm a dev advocate. You might have seen me on a couple YouTube videos within Redis University and Redis. I've helped produce a couple of our courses. And yeah, today we're going to be hanging out with Suze and going over the basics of RU101, Introduction to Redis Data Structures.
Yeah, so like Simon said, we've got loads of different courses at Redis University. And RU101 is Introduction to Data Structures. I'm really new to the company, and I have not used Redis before. So this is why I'm taking RU101 as part of my onboarding. And I thought it would be fun to learn in public. I have no idea why I thought that would be fun, but here we are today. So Justin is one of the teachers at Redis University and has led a lot of the courses. And if you join the courses, you will see Justin's videos on there, and he is such a good teacher, and I'm so glad that we're doing this stream together. So what we're going to do this week, and we want to do this every week because RU101 is a 6-week course. What we're going to do this week is just show you all how to get started with RU101 and just the things that you need to set up. So we're just going to kind of walk you through that because there are a couple of things that you're going to need to download and depending on your system and stuff like that. So we're just going to talk you through all of that. So what we would like you to do as well is if you've got any questions as we go along, please post them in the chat. Simon is still here and he's behind the scenes and he's going to be picking up the questions and we will answer them for you. So if at any point you don't understand what the heck we're talking about, please do shout out and let us know. And also what I'd really love to know is where you all are dialing in from today as well. Let us know. As you can probably tell from the accent, me and Simon are in London, England. Well, Simon's in Nottingham, I'm in London, England. And Justin, whereabouts are you?
Probably can't tell from my Californian accent, but I am in Oakland, California.
Nice. I think the weather's a little bit better up there. And it's funny because we're such a distributed team, we want to have a team meeting. It's always at this time of day. Justin's just started his day and we've just finished. So it's always a bit of a funny thing. He's really refreshed and quite frankly, I'm ready for dinner, but there you go. So yeah, so like I said, today we're just going to go through quickly how to get started, what the course looks like, you know, what it leads to at the end. So you get a certificate that you can add to your LinkedIn, what you have to do to get the certificate. We'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek at the sort of homework and the quizzes and all of that good stuff, so you know what to expect. In case you're not really too sure about if this is something you want to commit to, we just want to give you a bit of a taster of what to expect if you did enroll, but we really hope that you do choose to. So what I would also like to mention at this point is we do have a Discord, and in that Discord we have loads of students doing all the different courses. We've got channels for the different courses. So if you do want to join us for RU101 or any of our other courses, there will be a dedicated channel for you, and I will be in there too, chatting away about RU101. So please do join us there. Simon's going to post the link in the chat for you, and we will see you there. So shall we start then? Let's go and show folks how to join Redis University. I'm just going to share my screen here. Right. So you'll need to go to university.redis.com if you want to take any of our courses. Simon is going to post the link. I'm going to stop saying Simon's going to post the link because the man has ears, he can hear what I'm talking about, and he knows what he's got to do. So, right, the link will be in the chat. Click on there and you will be able to see all the courses that we run. So you can see Redis Data Structures. We also have a number of courses here for folks that are proficient in different languages, that goes into more depth about how you would use Redis with the language, with your favorite languages. And we also have a couple of other courses that are kind of relevant to all. So what you would need to do is you would need to create an account. I've already got one. And then you would need to navigate to RU101 page and press the register button. Now you can do that from any time from now until the 26th of October. So you've got 3 weeks to register for this course, and the course is 6 weeks long. Now that doesn't mean that you have to do everything week by week. If you are really fast, and like Justin's so clever, you did it in about 3 days, didn't you, when you joined?
Yeah, 3 days. No, it wasn't like a big crunch effort. It wasn't very stressful. It's just how we consume, online videos and online tutorials doesn't take a lot of time.
Yeah, so depending on how you want to pace yourself, completely self-paced, you can either do week by week, or if you're really keen, then you can do it like a couple of weeks at a time, or if you want to do it 3 days, you can do it in 3 days. So completely up to you. But you've got up to 6 weeks to complete it, but you've only got about 3 weeks to actually enroll on this course. So please do that. There's no like deadline. If you enroll today, you can start doing it in week 6 if you want to. But yeah, register now, and then you will know that you haven't missed out on this cohort to learn along with me. So Introduction to Redis Data Structures page just tells you what you're going to learn. It also tells you the start date. So this started this week on Tuesday. All our courses start on a Tuesday, and it will end on November the 11th, which is the point at which, if you wanted to take all the quizzes and stuff to work towards your certificate, that's the last point at which you can do that. And we have said there that the estimated hours is 3 hours a week, just on average. But like I said, if you want to do it in 3 days, you can. And there's some software requirements in here and what you'll learn. So this course is all about Redis Data Structures. There's a little advert here as well, just in case you lose the Twitch link, you can always go back there and get it. And yeah, Class Central reviewed RU101 and gave it 5 stars. Nice. It just tells you a little bit about what you'll build and the course outline there. I won't go through all of this, but what Justin and I will be doing is taking it kind of in order. What we're not going to do is cover every single topic. So Justin, because he's so experienced with this and he's been working with these courses for a couple of years now, we've decided together which ones would be most suitable for a stream and which ones are more applicable to you. So we've handpicked the modules that we will go through on the streams, and then what you'll need to do in between streams is just go and actually go onto this Redis University website and watch the videos here for the parts that we haven't covered, just so that you've got all of the tuition and you've covered all the material. So yeah, I won't go through all of that, but it's basically 5 weeks of tuition, and then you've got all of week 6 to do the final exam. And like I said, we will give you a little insight into what those quizzes and exams looks like, so they're not as scary as they sound. And then there's a little bit there about our instructors. So Carl Banker is our boss now, and Alvin used to head up Redis U. He is actually English as well. I think we're just kind of slowly taking over this team. But yeah, ironically, Alvin is in Nottingham, which is where Simon was, which is quite strange as well. So yeah, you'll see Alvin and Kyle on the videos of this course, but also some videos from Justin as well, because he has kindly put some kind of like bonus little explainer videos in there too, just to help you kind of understand it from a different point of view. So once you've enrolled for this course, you'll be able to log in, and depending on which ones you're taking, and again, it's all self-paced. So if you're a more experienced developer and you do have a favorite language, you might decide you want to take RU101 plus one of the language-specific courses. So you'll see all your courses here in the dashboard. And then when you first come to take a course, you will need to set up your system. So this is what we're going to do. This is part of what we're going to do today. So what I have already done is I've already downloaded Redis Insight, because that is not the kind of thing you come to watch on a live stream. And so yeah, I advise you to kind of do that early on so you can hit the ground running. So Justin is going to talk me through how to do this. I have already got Redis Insight set up and I have signed up for a cloud account. But Justin, I wonder if you wanted to actually explain to folks what Redis Insight actually is. I think that might be useful.
Yeah, absolutely. So assuming you have like a Redis cloud account, in this instance for RU101, Redis Insight is an application created by Redis that you download and run locally on your computer. It is essentially a web server that connects to your cloud account, and it allows you to interact with your database in multiple different ways. So you can actually use the command line, as we usually do within the terminal within our courses. You can also visualize the various different modules that Redis has, like so Redis Search, Redis Graph, Redis Bloom. You can actually see the graphic models of those and actually check out and inspect different analytics. It's really cool. Don't worry, we're not going to check those out just yet. We're going to stick to the core data structures. So we're mostly going to be checking out the browser, where we can browse keys, and the command line interface. We're going to be using the command line interface with Redis Insight. If you see us using in our videos, a lot of my videos, you'll see me just using a terminal. It's essentially the same thing. We can connect to Redis Cloud with the terminal. We can also connect to Redis Cloud with Redis Insight. We're using Redis Insight in this case because that means everybody can use it. You just have to download an application. If we're using a terminal, that means we've just done an extra little bit of work. We've either installed it via Docker, which is really easy, and we'll provide a video on that, how to actually run it. We'll also, you can also install Redis locally on your actual physical machine and run it there, which is also easy. There's a couple different methods. You can use brew, or you can install it from source. Also, if you're, I want to throw this out there now, if you are using Windows 10, you can also run Redis on Windows 10 without a problem. We also will provide a link. Guy has an amazing video that is the ultimate source of truth for installing and running Redis on Windows 10. So definitely check that and bookmark it. It's a great video. So yeah, Redis Insight, TLDR, it connects to our Redis Cloud instance or a local Redis instance. But for RU101, we found it's really easy just to set up a free cloud instance and connect it with Redis Insight. And there you go.
Cool. Thanks, Justin. And yeah. Simon posted all the links in the chat for you there. I think now would actually be a good time, now that we've been on for a few minutes, it'd be nice to give a few shout outs to folks in the chat, I reckon. So let's see who we've got. So we've got Constant Time Ops. I think I know who that is. Hello, Constant Time Ops in Boulder, Colorado. We've got Guy Royce. Everybody knows Guy Royce. Guy's having his lunch in Columbus, Ohio. Abner Hines. Abner, I know Abner. I spend a lot of Sundays with Abner doing co-working. Hello there. Abner's in London. Miss Fortunate. I think Miss Fortunate is in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, I believe, yes.
Yes, well, very international today. So yeah, please give us a shout and tell us where you are. I really love to know where folks are dialing in from. It always amazes me that we can do this, because I'm a child of the 1990s, and if you wanted to talk to somebody in America in those days, you had to pick up a phone that was wired into the wall. So yeah, I'm always amazed that we can do this now. So yeah, do let us know. And also let us know why you're here, and whether you're thinking of taking one of our courses too. We'd really love to know. And why you want to take them. Like, are you looking for a new job? Or are you trying to skill up in your current role? Or have you heard about Redis and like really excited about it and just want to know what it's about? I would really love to know. So yeah, please do share that with us. Okay, so I have downloaded Redis Insight and I have signed up for a cloud account. Okay. And I'm guessing now I need to connect the two things together without doing that rookie error of exposing my key to the whole of the internet and the world.
Yeah, well, let's first check out Redis Cloud. Let's make sure that you have started a subscription.
Ring. Right, I've got so many tabs open because I'm well
Okay.
organized.
This looks fantastic. So when you sign up on Redis Labs for your Redis Cloud instance, you're going to see this screen first. This is a beautifully empty account. So we need to actually create a subscription, a free subscription. So you want to click on that plus new subscription. And we're going to be starting off at the free tier. Try it before you like it. So if you want to scroll down a little bit, these are going to be on 3 different vendors to choose from: AWS, GCP, Google Cloud Platform, and Microsoft Azure. So AWS is already pre-chosen for us, so let's keep it there. And then let's go ahead and pick a region that's closest to you. So probably Frankfurt. Yeah. I picked
Ireland.
Ireland. That might be close. Yeah.
Yeah, let's try that.
Cool. And then you can see below there's a different price structure that we have for different tiers of size you can allot for your database. So I always say when you're first starting off, stick to the 30 megabyte tier. There's no need to pay, and you'll be able to access the cloud instance of a database. So you want to enter a subscription name for this specific free tier. You could do it like RU101 or anything you want. Yeah, perfect. And then go ahead and create a subscription. Okay, so now we've created a subscription, and within this subscription, we want to create a database. So go ahead and click on New Database. Okay, so now we have a couple of options to fill. We're going to want to enter a database name, and that could be basically the same as RU101 that you already put in. And then protocol we'll keep on Redis. Now, this modules dropdown, that's pretty cool. So this allows you to play with those extra module add-ons. If you want to click on that, we can actually explore it. There's Redis Search, Redis Bloom, Redis JSON, where you can actually store and retrieve JSON within Redis. Redis Time Series, Redis Graph. These are all different optional add-ons that you can include with your free cloud instance, which is really cool. It gets you like a pretty powerful suite of tools, and it's still free, which is great. So let's go ahead and click out of here. I just wanted to show you that real quick. And then durability, persistence, those aren't actually available within the free tier. But data eviction policy, this is how we handle data once we hit our data limit. Volatile-LRU, we want to keep it there. And I talk about that in a couple different videos throughout Redis and Redis use, so you'll see that later. That Redis password, don't click on an eyeball. That's going to be Suze's password. So that's what she's going to use to actually connect. She's going to use that to connect with Redis Insight and locally on the terminal. And then down on alerts, it'll tell you if there's going to be any problems with the database, if maximum connections have reached or the size limit has been reached. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So let's scroll up and
I think we've missed something because it's not telling us.
I think there can't be spaces in the database name. So I think we can do dashes. Redis 10 or RU101 dash learn dash in. Yeah. Cool.
All right, we ready?
We're ready.
So,
all right. So that little yellow watch means that it is building up your database for you.
Do I save the password in here, or like is there a separate password for each database?
I wouldn't save that. I would just go ahead and skip that. Okay, so cool. We have a public endpoint, and that's a pretty important piece of information to want to keep. So that is the host and port number to connect to your database. And those are 2 important pieces of information, but it's useless unless you have your password. So that's good. So we have our database in the cloud. It's happy. It's excited to work with you. Now we just have to connect it. So I would copy that entire endpoint. Cool. And then let's go over to the Redis Insight page.
Where are we? Here.
There we go. Okay, so when you start your Redis Insight, it'll actually have this page of I don't know who to connect to. So you have I already have a database, or I don't have a Redis database. You already have a Redis database, so let's go ahead and click on that. And then there's a bunch of different options here if you want to connect to Redis Enterprise clusters or anything like that. Since this is just a pretty normal database instance, connect to Redis database using a host name and port. All right, so just go ahead and paste the host name and port here, and it will automatically populate host, port, and name for you. The username is going to be set to default by default. And now we'll want to actually hide this screen while Suze copies that password over here. No looking. Wait.
Remind me where to get my password again.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go to the Redis Cloud database page.
Oh, okay.
And you should be able to scroll down and click on an eyeball that will expose that password.
The default user password. Right, okay. I'm really like paranoid. I keep checking to make sure.
No, I can't see it. Nobody can see it.
And the username's still default?
Yeah.
Right, and do I use TLS?
No TLS on this one.
Right, so I can add Redis database and then I can reshare my screen. All right, let me reshare here. There we go.
Okay, cool. Now,
yeah.
That little card you see on the left, Redis 1.13504, that's the database that you actually connected to. So Redis Insight is connected to your Redis Cloud. So go ahead and click on that. Beautiful. All right, so this is your Redis Cloud instance, and it's going to start giving you some metrics as far as like size, how many times it's being hit by clients, things like that. So that's square one. That's, you know, the most important part. Now, what I want to do is populate this with data. With RU101 specifically, we have a lot of data to start with that we can play with. I might have gotten ahead about that. Can you go to, please, the setup page for RU101? Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and scroll down. We've created the new subscription. We've chosen our tier, created the database. And all these instructions are in RU101, so you don't have to follow along perfectly with us. So now we're going to import our data. So that right there, that URL, the HTTPS storage Google APIs, we can copy that. Okay, cool. And then let's go to the Redis Cloud page where it showed your, okay, cool. All right, so go ahead and scroll down to the danger zone.
I have just totally exposed my password.
Oh, it's okay. Nobody did anything.
All right, yeah.
Can you go back to the cloud instance or your cloud page? Yeah, right there.
Right, sorry.
Okay.
Danger zone.
Okay, so in the danger zone, you have two things you can do: delete your database or import a data set. So let's go ahead and click on import. Okay, so now source type, you can pull a database backup from different sources. We're going to actually go ahead and click on source type, and we're going to choose HTTP. So we can scroll down. There we go. And now paste in that source path. Okay, so we're going to basically say, hey, Redis, pull the data from here. It's going to be if you look at the end of that source, it's an RDB file. It's a zipped up RDB. RDB is a backup file. So go ahead and click on that check mark to lock it in. All right, now click on the import button. All right, so it's going to import all of that data, and it's quite a bit. I think it's like 6 megs of data, which is highly compacted. That's a lot of information for Redis, which is cool. It doesn't take too much time. A little coffee break here.
Yeah, I am in England, and we don't have very good broadband here, so I may be here a while. So So for those folks who have just joined us, let us know where you're dialing in from. Are you also in England with the rubbish broadband, or are you in California with the good broadband? I would love to know. I would really love to know. And let us know what the weather's like too. Like here it is solid grey, which is not unusual, and it is starting to get dark. It's going to be dark, totally dark in a couple of hours because we're coming into winter now. So by the time we finish the 6 weeks, it's going to be pitch black when we start, I think. This is going really slow, isn't it?
A little bit. Let's refresh and see. Oh, it hurt us.
Went from 0 to 100%.
I love that. Okay, so let's go back to Redis Insight. And I think it's overview. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So if you see the database summary, 6 megabytes total, 14,000 keys. So it just loaded up that database backup. So now we have tons of data that you're going to play with and use in RU101. And you can see the commands per second, the network input, network output, and the total keys, all these different visualizations. You can see that Redis was actually, chooching along, adding all these in. So that's why it took a little bit of time. So now if you go to the Browse tab and click on Browser. So now this is really cool. What we're seeing here is just a sampling of all the keys. And if you click on, let's say, the first customer key right there. Yeah, so this is a piece of Redis data. This is actually a hash data type. And don't worry about what exactly we're seeing, but this is an actual data type that we use within Redis a ton. And I've created videos on it. We refer to hashes throughout different modules. This is one of the basic data types of Redis. And within RU101, we're going to be covering a lot of different types. So yeah. We can actually, and one more thing, let's make sure that you can access and interact with your database with the command line. So let's click on the CLI below the browser on the left there. All right, so this is the command line interface that's within Redis Insight. This is the exact same thing that you see in all of our videos when we're showing how to run code. It has a white background instead of a black background. So if you want to enter the first, establish connection check by typing in the word ping, P-I-N-G, we should get a pong back. Go ahead and press enter. And there we go. So that means that Redis Insight sent the ping command over to your Redis Cloud instance. The Redis Cloud said, yep, I'm awake, and it sent that pong back over to your Redis Insight. So now you are ready to interact with the database. Cool.
Nice. Cool. Okay, I think it's going to take me a little while to kind of find my way around this, but I think it will also help that I won't have 10 tabs open with the Redis logo on, like I know where I'm going. So yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I try to keep my tabs to a minimum too, especially when I'm switching over from our lesson plans to our Redis Insight. Less things to distract you, the better.
Yeah.
And I can actually give you a little bit more of a tour as far as what we're going to be covering. If I could hop on and share my screen.
No worries.
Cool.
Just don't expose your password like I did.
I'll try not to. Okay. And boop. Okay. So this is going to be me. Let me just check. Bing, bing. Pom, pom. Everybody see that? Okay, cool. So we're looking at my Redis CLI instance, and this is going to be the exact same as Suze's. So I'll look at my browser. I still have all these the same keys that we were talking about. What I wanted to do is just show you just a couple of things that we're going to be going over within RU101. So Redis has the basic structure of key and value pairs. Key, value. For anybody that's that currently uses a programming language, if you're using JavaScript, this would be similar to an object. If you're using Python, this would be similar to a dictionary, where it contains a key and a value. So key value, what is a key value? Well, one example, let's just dive in, would be name for a key, Justin for a value. Name for a key, Suze for a value. So name describes basically what the value will be. So name could be multiple different things. It could be Justin, or it could be Suze, or it could be Simon. So this is how we store things. When I want to create maybe a string value, a string is just text, I will set. That's a set command. And you'll notice with right here on Redis Insight, it's really helpful when you're first starting off. I just typed in set, and again, it could be capitalized or lowercase, but it should be uppercase for me. I like to do it just to make sure that I'm adhering to good habits. It says set key value. It's giving you a lot of hints, which is really great when you're first starting off. So set key value, that's actually going to store the data that I want into a database. So let's say set my name Justin. I'll press enter, and it says OK. So I just stored a string value of Justin to the key my name. And I can use the command get to retrieve that information I just stored. So get my name, and it will return Justin. This is the absolute first step. So same with set greeting hello world. Enter. So now if I call get greeting, every single fiber in your body should be screaming, you should be getting hello world. And you're right. So cool. We're good to go. So that was a string. That's the most basic building block of Redis. So strings can be text. It could be alphanumeric. We could have any kind of ASCII character. They're binary safe, which means that it doesn't actually have to be just text. It could be binary values, hexadecimal, things like that. And there's no, I mean, you can store a ton of text in here. So I think the 512 megabyte is the limit of the string value. Also, the key is binary safe. So the key can actually be whatever you want it to be, basically. And we'll use a lot of different naming conventions for our keys. But we're among friends. I'll do set my age 39. So I'm storing a numeric value. So I'll get my age, it'll show 39. So cool, right? We can also create, now that's just one data structure. I just want to go over a couple that will be, actually going over in RU101, just to get you kind of prepared for what to think of. If you have had previous language experience, some of this will be familiar with you. If not, don't worry at all. This is still we really focus a lot on RU101 on a lot of things that you have encountered before, like your account has information, like your cell phone account has information about you. A magazine subscription has your address, if you're an automatic renewal, things like that. We go over real world data structures that contain multiple points of data, about anything like an invoice or a work order, a location, anything like that. So we make sure to give you a lot of affordance. So I'm just coming back to this. I want to talk real quick about lists. So a list, so to run a list, I'll do L push. And I have a video on lists that you can watch on our YouTube, which is, I like it because I get to play a lot of music and talk about Phil Collins. But see here, L push and then key and then multiple values, because a list is usually a grouping of multiple items, correct? So I could do my list. I'll just list all the people in our stream right now. So Justin, Suze, Simon, and then friendly audience, friendly-audience. There we go. So I have a full list, enter, and now it's giving me an integer of 4, which tells me, hey, congrats, you just put 4 items in your list. So to actually check out our list, to actually retrieve that list, I'll use lrange. And I know these commands because I've been playing with them for the last couple of years, but we'll go through all these different commands. Also, this will tell you, what the command does. You can always just do a quick little spot check. So lrange and then my list and then start and stop. That's like how, basically where do you want me to look and where do you want me to stop looking? I'm going to do 0, -1. And there we go. So I retrieved my list. I have the friendly audience, Simon, Suze, and Justin. So that's my list. And then one more, I'll do a hash. Hashes are pretty cool. That's one of my favorite YouTube videos of ours. If you take a look at it, it goes over gaming with it was just a lot of fun to create. Lots of pixel art. So I'll create an account of my account. So you'll see hset key field value. So I'm setting keys and values, but if I have a group of information, I'm going to have a field and value. So let's imagine this is my account for my magazine subscription for a company. So let's say I subscribe to, I'll use quotes here. If you're using strings that have spaces in them, you'll use quotes. So truth be told, I am an honest birder. I subscribe to the magazine subscription of Birds and Bloom. It's very beautiful. And how many issues are left? So I'll call issues left. Maybe I have 6 issues left. And then let's see here. Let's say the price that I paid for. Let's make it $24.99. And I can have an address, 123 Main Street, Oakland, California, 94601. That's not my real address, but whatever. So I entered all this information. Let's go over this real quick. Hset, my account, title, Birds and Bloom. That's going to be the title of the magazine. Issues left 6, price 24, $24.99. My address. So all this information is going to be stored as fields and values within the main key, which is my account. And there we go. So let me check out my account and make sure I got it all. So I'm going to use the hgetAll, which allows me to retrieve all the fields. This might return a lot of data if your hash has a ton of information. But since I only have a couple pieces of information in the small one, it's kind of safe to use. Otherwise, you'll see that the hint tells me to get hget. So hget allows us to get 1 value back. So I'll use hgetAll, and then my account. And there we go. So now this is my actual hash. Title of the magazine, Birds and Bloom. Issues left 6, price $24.99, and there's my address. So if you have this connected to some kind of CMS system or some kind of account management system, you'll be able to pull this up very, very quickly. And it's very easy to change things as well. But again, we'll do that in the course. I just wanted to show you some basic data structures and how easy it is to actually set them all up. All you have to do is just use a pretty simple command that makes a lot of sense, and then give it the key name that you want to get or set, and then the information that you want to put in. Now, we're going to go over this, of course. We spend tons of videos and text going over all of these. And there's also really, really, really good documentation on all of these. Before we do videos, explainers, I go through all of our documentation and read it because it's actually a pleasure to read, which is kind of fun to say. When you're reading documentation about technology, it's actually really nice to read, and you learn a lot, which is great. So yeah, I just wanted to geek out a little bit and show you, what to expect, and the different data types that we'll be looking at. And yeah, it's nothing to worry about. It's all pretty normal, and we actually equate real live world situations. So for anybody that's read ahead in RU101, since it started on Tuesday, we're actually creating like a management system for the Redis Olympics, which I think is supposed to happen in, I didn't look at the actual year. I think it was supposed to happen last year, but the pandemic hit, so Redis couldn't throw the Olympics, which is unfortunate, but it's on, we'll start back up in 2022.
Yeah, we all skipped the year, didn't we? And we all can call ourselves the age that we were the previous year. So I'm still 21.
Oh, that's fantastic. I didn't know that. Oh man. Oh well.
Yeah, I know. I know I only look 19, but I'm actually 21. So yeah. But yeah, so we try to. It's always more fun. I think anyone who's tried to learn any sort of new technology, it's just easier if you've got some sort of project to work through, isn't it?
Yeah. And you start knowing the data types. You start knowing what your data looks like. So you just get very, very comfortable working with it. It just gets faster and faster. So if you're I'm showing you very, very small baby steps, but within RU101 and all of the different courses, we cover real world topics. 101 is the Olympics, 102, which is a language specific course for Java, JavaScript, or Python. They go over solar power management within Northern California, which is really, really neat, because then you go into data structures like geolocation, things like that. So you start getting really powerful, and then your mind starts racing like, oh, I can apply this to XYZ within my company, or, ooh, I could actually see myself, building an app with this tool that I've just learned, which is really cool.
Definitely. Yeah, cool. So shall we spend the last few minutes then just answering any questions folks have got? If you want to put them in the chat, we will do our best to answer them. But we do have like a few topics that we just wanted to cover off before we signed off for today. So we did touch on this a little bit earlier, but who would you say this course is aimed at, Justin?
Great question. So databases are fundamental to all application development, whether it's front of house, if you're interacting with a website, or if you're working on some sort of like management system, back of house. Databases are there to store data. That doesn't mean that you actually have to have a proficiency in a programming language. So some of our examples that you'll see on our videos will use Python or JavaScript or Java. RU101 is geared towards somebody that has sort of like an adjacent experience working with people in tech, or has some experience working with database concepts like storing data, retrieving data, knowing how to ask specifically for specific pieces of data. Basically, you don't have to have an expertise in a programming language. Does it help? It does. I'm not going to deny that. But you'll certainly not suffer a penalty of learning if this is your first jump into an alternate NoSQL database. So, and we work really hard to make sure that we're with you that along the way. So the Discord channel is always open. We're always more than happy to help. And our videos are kind of aimed, the data structure videos, the data type videos, those explainers are aimed to actually give you an affordance as far as how to grok, which basically you have that inner feeling on how to actually work with these data structures, like a list, or a string, or a hash. Yeah. And then RU101 does use some Python commands, but it's not absolutely important or necessary that you know what every single line of that Python code does. So yeah, long-winded answer, short little wrap up. Not a whole lot. You need to know some concepts of database work, but yeah, my grandma can join. I wish you would join.
Yeah, so just to give folks a little bit of background on where I'm coming to this course from. So I basically have a lifelong love of coding. So I was coding when I was a small child, which, like I said, was 21 years ago. But it was actually in the 1980s. But because the UK education system doesn't know what to do with girls that like code, I didn't go into it as a career until quite late in my career. So after about 20 years of doing other things, I went on a coding boot camp, which a lot of folks are doing nowadays. And then after I did the boot camp, I did not go into a software engineering role. So what I chose to do was combine my software and coding knowledge with my previous skills. So I did 20 years of marketing, and that's kind of brought me to now being the developer community manager at Redis. So while I do have that bootcamp background and I had been coding when I was a small child, I definitely do not code every day. So if you do not code every day, don't worry, I'm right here with you. It'll be fine. We'll get through it together. And like Justin said, you don't need to be a professional software engineer to be taking this course. We have tried really hard to make it accessible to as many folks as possible, to just get them started with working with databases and specifically with Redis. So we also said at the very top that just for those folks who weren't with us at the very beginning, this course is 6 weeks long. I'm just going to share my screen again so you can see just the Redis U website and what it looks like inside. So once you've enrolled, you'll see that it's 6 weeks long, but it's self-paced. So if you wanted to do all of the weeks of stuff in 3 days, like Justin did when he joined the company, then you can do that. If, however, you need to spread it out over this 6 weeks, then you can. I do encourage you, if you want to take this course, to sign up now, because enrollments stop in about 3 weeks' time. But if you're anything like me, you'll diarise to do that and you'll forget until the day after it closes. So sign up for it now, and then there is no pressure for you to start now. Just start whenever you're ready, just as long as you get everything done and all the quizzes and stuff, if you want to work towards the certification before the 11th of November. So I will just show you what the quizzes and the homework look like so that you have a bit of a primer before you commit yourself to registering. I'll show you exactly what it's like, full disclosure, and then you can decide whether or not you want to do this. So you'll get a quiz for the topics. So if you say you're in week 1, you will have this little banner up here. You'll see some videos, and then here you've got a little pencil and you've got the quiz. And this is what a quiz looks like. Now, the quizzes are just purely a knowledge check. So they will just test to see if you know what you were taught in the videos. So these quizzes are not graded. And it says here they're ungraded. And it says how many points you've got. And correct me if I'm wrong, Justin, you have as many tries as you want at the quizzes.
With the quizzes, I believe so, yes. Again, these are checks for understanding. So we don't actually keep this knowledge. We don't know what happens with your quizzes. These are just like a yardstick measurement of like whether or not you should consider reviewing the sections right before the quizzes, because we pepper these in throughout the entire course. So they're not graded. You can take them multiple times, and just for a check of understanding. So
yeah,
we can actually show. I mean, if you want to randomly pick one of those check boxes and we can submit, we can see what it actually looks like. And there you go. Oh, there you go. You get a freebie. So what can be stored in a Redis string? I was prattling on. You can basically store everything. So this is what success looks like. And we try to help you even more. If you want to click on that show answer on the right.
Oh, sorry.
All are allowable values for strings. Essentially, a string in Redis is a binary stream of characters. You can smash whatever you want in there. Let's show you what not success looks like. So let's unclick on binary data. And yeah, it's like, well, there's some more that you can choose. And you can, from here, you can actually see that you can take as many attempts as you want. So no biggie. Again, we're not tracking this. This is just some fancy JavaScript and HTML on the page that's running there just for your own check for understanding.
Yeah, I really love actually the way that you've explained this when you design the courses. You've explained why the answer is what it is, because the worst thing is when you get it wrong and you're like, I haven't got a flaming clue why it's wrong.
Oh yeah, it's just cruel. Like, we're not in the business of harshly grading and making you not excited about Redis. We want you to to really enjoy your education here. So we want to tell you why, the answer is how it is. So
Yeah. So like Justin said, we really do encourage you to take the knowledge checks just so that you are more confident with this. And I think as well, like one of the best things about learning things is being able to explain it to others. And if you take the quizzes, then you'll become better at explaining to somebody what it is and why it is as well. But like I said, they're totally optional. So if you just wanted to watch the videos and skip the quizzes, then you are free to do so. So the quizzes are not graded. We're not recording anything. It's purely for you to check your knowledge. So the quizzes are different from the homework. I'm going to show you the homework now. Each week has homework which covers all of the topics that you were taught that week, and the homework is graded. So the way it works with getting the certificate for the courses, well, for this course specifically, is that you need to score 65% across the homework and the final exam, which comes at the very end, which covers all of the topics. Now, you can see that the homework actually looks no different from the quizzes, really. The only thing that's different is, like I said, it's graded. So you really want to try and score as highly as possible, just to kind of make sure you've got that good foundation for scoring the 65%. And you also don't get unlimited attempts on the homework. So you can see here, it's graded and it tells you how many attempts you get. So some questions have got one attempt, other questions have got more than one attempt. Justin, is there anything that I missed there?
No, you got it. You're spot on. We'll give you multiple attempts if there's like more than one possible answer. So for homework questions that have multiple fields that are correct, we'll give you usually one more than they are. And this is just, to allow you to check your understanding one last time before you submit your grade. And again, this isn't like a timed or proctored homework. So, feel free to have your documentation open in another tab to make sure that you have everything right, because this reflects the real world. When you're, working on a database, when you're building something in an application, you have a lot more documentation open than your actual single screen open when you're typing it. So this is kind of a reflective of what we expect in the real world. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is a good point, actually. Something that I hadn't thought about. So yeah, like, you might go for an interview and have to do a coding test and it's totally artificial. But yeah, we don't operate like that here. If you need to look stuff up or you need to go back and look at the video again, then that's encouraged because you're just consolidating your knowledge. So yeah, so just to reiterate that the homework is graded, but you have to score 65% across the homework and the exam. So I'll just show you the exam, and surprise, surprise, the exam doesn't really look much different from the quizzes and the homework.
Right.
So the difference between the exam is that it covers everything. So it covers the entire 5 weeks, whereas the homework covers just that week and the quiz covers just that topic. So it just kind of scales up as you go through. So yeah, that is definitely graded. And like Justin said, make sure that you prepare yourself well and make sure you've got all your stuff ready. Just sit down and focus when you're doing that. And you do get a limited number of attempts there. So for example, for this question, you get maximum 2 attempts at that question. But yeah, as you can see, it's exactly the same. So as long as you go into it knowing where to find the stuff, or just understanding the concepts, then I think you can give it a pretty good shot.
Right. And like Simon says in the chat, you can run these commands in Redis Insight and you can evaluate. Yeah, there you go. You'll get the actual answer. So again, we don't want to trick you. We don't want to stress you out. We want to get you comfortable with running Redis, especially from the command line, because once you can do it from the command line, then you can go on to using our different Redis clients for different programming languages, and you can see and visualize how to actually run it. So exams are just really, really big homework questions where you still get multiple attempts, and it's all basically what you have covered in your previous chapters. And again, those homeworks are just graded versions of the quiz questions, which are checks for understanding. So we really don't want you to be alarmed or taken off guard by seeing an exam coming up. It's not something that's really stressful. We're not trying to sneak up anything or like surprise you. I've taken a lot of exams and finals and midterms where they're just like, ah, you didn't think about this, did you? No. We're very practical. We're professional. We're all professionals here. So we want you to actually like join us, as we come up with Redis.
Yeah. And the other thing that I totally forgot to mention was that none of these things are timed either. So, like if you do an exam at actual university, they give you maybe like 2 or 3 hours to do it. We don't time you on this exam. So, yeah, you can take as long as you need to do that. But can you actually save your progress, can't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So you can start working on your exam and say something happens or say, you're just like, I don't really want to right now. I am tired. I want coffee. I want to go walk the dog. You can step away from it. You can actually come back, and you can actually, you can throw out, a lifesaver on Discord and ask us questions, and we're more than happy to help you out. So yeah, there's no stress. We're not in the business of being stressful.
No, definitely not. And like Justin said, join us on Discord. We're all in the same boat. I'm going to be there. Do not worry. I work here and I'm going to get stuck on something. So yeah, please don't worry about that. And do ask any more questions in the chat. We don't have to drop off exactly on the hour. So if you've got any questions, please do drop them in there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you what you can get upon successful completion of this certificate. So now we're showing you Simon Prickett's LinkedIn profile. Any of you good folks are on LinkedIn, then you can, upon completion of this course, you get 65% across the homework and the exam. You can add these certificates to your LinkedIn profile. So what you'll get is you'll get a unique certificate number, which you can plug into LinkedIn, and hopefully I will be getting that at the end, so I will be able to show you how to do that. But I'm going to show you Simon's for the time being. Simon has been with the company for a good couple of years now, almost 3 years, and so he's got all of them. So he's a really good example. So this is Simon's LinkedIn, and some of you will be familiar with this, but on LinkedIn you can add your licenses and certifications, and you can see here that Simon has taken all of these Redis courses, and he's got an actual credential ID that has been issued by Redis University, which you plug in to your profile and it lists them up there. So that's really good if you're looking for a job and those recruiters need you to have knowledge of Redis, or you just kind of want to showcase that if you're building up your portfolio and you want to really demonstrate your knowledge, because it can be quite difficult to kind of prove it. But this is something that is a standard certificate, I guess. So it can be, you can be compared against others. So you either have the certificate or you don't. And it's a definite standard that you have to reach. So for all of our courses, if you want to take them, you can get these credentials and add them to your link. I wasn't joking when I said this list was super long, was I? So yeah. Is there anything you wanted to say about that, Justin?
No, I mean, this is fantastic. And yeah, you can click on that C credential and that'll pop out the actual certification. So you could actually send that link over to any of your potential employers, things like that. You can see he took the Redis Certified Developer exam, which is also like an extra service that Redis University provides, where it's a much more comprehensive exam over all the larger things about Redis as far as like clustering, high availability, production, stuff like that. So we're not just offering courses, but that certified developer shows you know your stuff with Redis. So I would actually say I would trust. Of course, I trust Simon, but seeing that Redis certified developer certificate, it's like I fully trust Simon to represent Redis and to do good things and make good choices.
Yeah, definitely. So I think the last thing I want to show, and I can't see any questions in the chat, but please do post them in the chat if you do have any questions. We will come to you. Otherwise, this will be the last thing that we covered today. So after you've done the quizzes and the homeworks, etc., you can actually see your progress on the Redis University site. And this is like a really thorough dashboard, actually. But please, like Justin says, do not let it stress you out. It's all good. And you'll get a line. I haven't done any of the stuff yet, but you'll get a line showing you how close you are to that 65% as well. So it's really clear as to how much progress you've made and how much progress you need to make to get the certificate. So as you can see, it's split up into the weeks. Here are all topics. You've got all quiz scores in there, which don't count towards the certificate, like we said. Then you've got the homework score for each week. And then for week 6, you've got the final exams. And like we said, all of the questions are the same format. It's just that some of them count towards the certificate, some don't. Some of them, on the quizzes, you get an unlimited number of attempts, but on the homework and the exams, you get a limited number of attempts. But like Justin said, we are very relaxed here. We do not stress. We prepare ourselves, and we sit and we look things up if we don't understand them. And there are so many videos, extra videos in the explainers, and just hit us up on Discord if you've got any questions too. Is there anything you wanted to add to that, Justin?
No, thank you very much. Please go through the our chat area and click on some of these links. We'll syndicate this video. It will be on YouTube and other platforms, so you can rewatch it again. But this is, what the average student is going to go through to set up the environment for our RU101 and, frankly, a lot of our other courses as well. So we did give you a lot of information, but we did so with the mindset that you'll be able to scrub back in this video and click on these relevant links. Also within RU101, there is that that huge sheet on how to set everything up. And graphically, it might be different because we've updated our UI, but the core fundamentals are the same. How to set up a subscription, how to set up a database, how to install Redis Insight, and how to get Redis Insight up and running. And lastly, how to import all that RU101 data to start playing with it. Here's the actual page. And all of this is really well laid out within our course. So you'll never be without, some kind of touchstone as far as where you should be going or what you should be doing or what your progress is within the course.
Cool. I think that is about it. I cannot see anybody's questions in the chat. So I think we might have explained that super well.
Great.
Cool. Right. So we will be back next week. If you have signed up to follow us here on Twitch, you will get a notification when we go live, hopefully again next Thursday. So we will be covering some week 1 topics, and you will see me learning in public. But please do join us on Discord. Simon has posted the link in the chat for you to join. Head over to the RU101 channel, and I will see you in there. Thanks so much, Justin, for joining me today.
Absolutely. No, I'm really excited for this. This is going to be great.
Yeah, me too. I was quite nervous, and I was trying to tell myself that nerves and excitement are the same emotion, aren't they? So, I think it went quite well. I really enjoyed it.
Cool. Yeah, me too.
Brilliant. And thanks so much to Simon as well for doing the production of this stream and handling the chat. Much appreciated, Simon. We could not do this without you. Cool. Thanks so much, everybody. We will see you again next week. Until then, goodbye.
See ya.